why did you come to Small Fish? We want to kind of talk about what your frustrations were with your business before you joined.
Yeah, so for me, probably the primary factor was just getting our pricing and hourly rates and everything correct. So just getting some help in getting all of our actual sort of budget and everything structured and understanding like the real costs of labor. So that was the first time that I stumbled across John, was going through some of the financial information and the big numbers tracker through YouTube, searching around. So that sort of was what I was looking for at the time. Just, I guess, some reassurance, because I felt like we were getting too expensive in our marketplace and going, oh, you can't charge that or you can't charge this, and then being able to get more of a professional opinion to sort of see where we actually really sat, and then really understanding the numbers and overheads and everything associated with that. So that was where we sort of started.
Okay, cool. So you came to John wanting to look at your numbers, the big numbers tracker. Did you jump onto that straight away? Or did you integrate it with your job management system that you guys been using?
Yeah, so at that stage, we only had sort of fairly simple job management systems. We were using Tradeify at that stage. And then, yes, the big numbers tracker was the first thing we jumped in, getting all of our overheads and everything out of Xero into there, and basically really actually kind of working out based on what we were charging, what we should have been charging, which was quite different. I think at the time was around about $10 or $15 an hour, which was good. And then we were able to implement that without getting really actually any pushback, which was pretty disappointing, because it would have been way better to have done that earlier. But I guess that's one of the things for me that John's given me, is just the confidence to back myself and sort of actually that sort of self-worth for us and our tradesmen and what we provide.
So before you came to Small Fish, you felt pressured to not charge more, even though you might not have been making a proper margin on your jobs, and John helped you kind of push past that pressure, or see that there wasn't any pressure there in the first place?
Yeah, probably more actually seeing that there wasn't as much pressure as what I thought there at the first place. It was more for me, my development and understanding, and going, well, yeah, it is okay to be charging this and fair to be charging this, and this is actually what it costs.
And what else have you worked on in terms of your confidence within your business? I know that it's a big thing with a lot of trades business owners, with confidence in the market, confidence with your clients. Is there anything else big that you kind of changed whilst with Small Fish?
Yeah, definitely. I think overall, like just having John sort of on tap there for booking those 20s and catching up as well, just sort of reset and make sure that you're spending the right time in the right areas in the back end of the business. But yeah, definitely with having that, for me anyway, having that confidence then in the numbers and what things really cost, that then is a flow-on effect of having that confidence with your clients, submitting proposals, backing yourself on all of those things, and not letting people talk you around or sort of tell you otherwise. Whatever their opinion is, it doesn't really matter, because you've got the hard numbers and facts right there. And then whenever something does arise, it is great having John to fall back on and just get that advice, reset and go, yeah, no, that is the right way to go, and continue on with that.
Okay, cool. So did you work on your online proposals with John when you first came to Small Fish? Because I know he talks about, doing your sales properly, going in, presenting, sitting down with the clients. Was that something you were doing before Small Fish?
Yeah, no, we weren't doing that before. That is something we have started doing. A lot of our clients still over the last couple of years, we've only had a couple of clients, or we haven't actually already had a personal relationship with them through either being family or friends. The market down here has been very busy the last few years. So it's sort of, at the moment, I think everybody, if you know somebody, they're hounding you because they already have a connection with you. So to get anybody to complete any sort of work for you, that's your best way to get on a list, other than a couple of year wait. So I guess that process has been a little bit more informal, because there's already been those established relationships there, as opposed to tendering with somebody that you've never met before and are trying to really impress and get runs on the board when they don't already know you. So that's something I haven't technically needed to push as hard recently, because of the lack of competition, as well as already having an established trusted relationship with that particular client.
And then that's one of your biggest successes that have come from working in Small Fish? Or what would you say maybe your three biggest successes after joining?
Well, actually starting to make some profit, reasonable profit, and we're getting very close now to sort of springboarding into that next step.
Didn't you make quite a significant turnaround in your profits?
Yeah, last year I think we turned it around 150 grand, going from negative to, I think it was $140,000 or $150,000 turnaround. Something that is good to be reminded of, which John is good at, looking at the numbers and going, oh, we only sort of made this much. But then when you look at it holistically from where you came from the year before, and actually go, well, no, that was actually a much larger turnaround than what is actually showing on paper in terms of what you just made in that year. I wasn't really thinking about what we'd actually recovered from the year before when we didn't have things running appropriately and we had things underpriced. So as we now move forward year on year, that will continue to build. So our profits are looking very good prospectively for the next couple of years. So we just need to keep on tightening things up, and things are only going to get better and better from here. So that's quite exciting.
That's really exciting. So you have the ability now to look back at what the business has come from, which I think can sometimes get really hard. From my understanding, people forget to look back at what happened and then they don't see the progress they've made. I think that's a big part of what John teaches in Small Fish.
Yeah. And I mean, small things too, even like just with the actual office systems and those sorts of things that used to stress you out in the past, you do forget about that as you move on and you're sort of dealing with the next struggles and challenges, I suppose, or whatever the priorities at the time. But a few weeks ago, whatever, we had a really big day and this and that. And it was just the simple thing of, with now having the bookkeepers helping us to be able to jump on, click 2 buttons, everybody's paid, all the payroll is done. And that's all I've had to think about it for that day. And I was able to focus on what was actually going on within the business and on site, helping the guys doing what we needed to do that day. And I no longer had this cloud of payroll and all of these other things hanging over my head that 2 years ago, when I was trying to do everything myself, and before getting in and actually systematizing and creating processes and employing the right people to do the right tasks within the business, you forget about that stress that you had to deal with beforehand and all those extra tasks you were doing after hours or this or that, to then go, well, yeah, I still need to do something there, but it's now only a 30-second task, not half an hour to an hour.
So how big has your team grown since you started with John to where you are now?
So when I started with John, I have hired 4 people since. Before that, including me, we were a team of 3 at that stage. So I've, more than sort of doubled the size of the team. Things much easier.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you so much, Isaac.
No worries.